But first, photos have the power to transport us through time, taking us back to the places and people we ache to see again, especially when the photos are of a loved one lost long ago. Local television producer and writer Joan Tortorici Ruppert lost her father as a young child. But through a collection of rediscovered photo negatives, she's getting to know who he was before he was her father and getting a glimpse into Chicago history as well. Producer Erica Gunderson has the story.
This one is my dad, too. Who took it, I have no idea. But I know this is pre-war because he didn't have all the shrapnel scars on his belly.
Joan Tortorici Ruppert barely had time to know her father before his sudden death in 1963. He was 43 years old, and she was just 8.
I remember that he was very tall and very broad, and I was little. It never dawned on me as a little kid that he was so incredibly young when he died.
Joe Tortorici never got to grow old, but nearly 60 years after he died, his youngest daughter has watched him grow young through the photos he took in 1930s Chicago.
He wasn't the guy who always had a camera in his hand. So that's one of the reasons why I was so surprised when my mom handed me the shoebox and said, "Oh, your dad was a very avid photographer."
Ruppert's mother, Nancy, presented her with a shoebox full of photo negatives in the late 90s after Ruppert mentioned she was taking a darkroom class. At that point, Ruppert had only basic knowledge of how to process photo negatives, so the negatives sat in a closet for more than 2 decades. Ruppert says she finally felt ready to tackle the project in early 2020. And then...
well, COVID hit and a lot of us had a lot of time on our hands. So I was able to just completely immerse myself in the research and trial and error of getting as much detail out of the negatives. And the internet helped me learn how to do that. Basically, you create a white space, set your smartphone to invert colors, and then instantly your negatives become positives.
Soon, Ruppert was watching a new image of her father develop right before her eyes.
Hanging out with friends, being at the schoolyard, mugging for the camera, posing with cool cars that you likely don't own. They did goofy things. They climbed up on billboards. You mean my dad was a teenager? He went to high school? He had friends? He had blonde girlfriends who weren't my mom? And things like that that really surprised me, that intellectually I knew he had a youth, but to actually see it for the first time was really amazing.
Ruppert recognized some of the people in the pictures as family. But even when she didn't recognize the photo subjects, Ruppert says the quality of the photos drew her in.
I would put something up on the scanner and my heart would just be beating out of my chest because I'm thinking, this is a really good picture. And then there'd be another one.
The photos stopped around 1943 when Tortorici left for naval duty in World War II. Ruppert thought that was the extent of the collection until her older sister unearthed a second batch.
In this second batch were pictures of us as tiny little kids, the empty lot in the suburbs where our house was going to be. So I saw him go from a child to a man with the gap in the middle of the war years. And that to me was very telling.
While Tortorici was rarely in his own photos, his work extravagantly captured the character of the then deeply Italian Near West Side. Ruppert created a website featuring a selection of the photos and turned to Chicago history social media groups for help identifying the places in them. One such location was Crane Tech High School, which Facebookers recognized thanks to its massive sconces. We joined Ruppert on her first visit ever to her father's alma mater, where she says she was delighted to learn he was a member of the camera club.
Yes, he learned his craft here.
If your dad came swinging out of those doors right now, what would you say to him? What would you want to ask him?
I would want to tell him that I see him. I'm very glad he kept the negatives, but first I would tell him thanks.
For Chicago Tonight, this is Erica Gunderson.
Ruppert calls the collection the shoebox negatives, and she says she welcomes any information on the people and places in the photos. You'll find more information about that on our website.